Hello everyone, welcome back. I posted a short and an Instagram reel last week on this flower, and I got so many good questions about it that I thought this would be a great YouTube video. So today we're going to paint a little picture with 3 flowers very similar to this. It's the same technique, only I think I'm going to add more of a background. And of course, like I said, 3 flowers instead of just the 1, but I'll show you how to get this blurriness and the sketchiness. So I've got a smaller piece of scrap paper here. I think it's like 8.5 by 7.5 or something. It was cut off from another project left over, so we're going to use that, which I would suggest doing something on a smaller scale the first few times you do it. Just, it's easier to control. This is very loose. We're going to use a lot of water, so I've taped it down to help with the buckling while we work with it. And I'm also going to use, I think I'll start out with my black velvet number 10. And I want to do the centers, oops, that was dirty. So I want to do the centers of my flowers first so that they can be drying while we're working elsewhere. And I'm just doing little dots. And I want one over here. And I want a baby one. Let's do a baby one underneath, right about there. All right, we're going to let those dry. And I'm not going to do the blue like I did before. Maybe orange. Let's go for orange. So I'm going to take some Windsor orange with a lot of water in it. And I guess I could show you. So I've got Windsor orange, lots of water, and I'm just going to dab the tip in some pale yellow. We don't have to be specific. We don't have to try to make perfect little leaves. If you notice here, the leaves are very jagged even. So that's what's so wonderful about this style. You don't even have to try very hard. Maybe a little more orange in that. Because I want it to be very different than the center. And if it's too much yellow, then they're going to look the same. Let's do one right here. And see, I'm just being messy. Not putting too much effort into that. And let's go down here with the baby. Because what's going to happen is our ink is going to really define what's happening. And now let's get a fine liner and let's get our stems going. I'm just mixing up some olive and some sap. Maybe a little perilean too. All right. I want that a little more green gold. And let's get some flower, I mean not flowers, but leaves on here. Very messy leaves. And we're going to, I like that. We're going to make them bleed out anyway, so we don't have to be too careful with them. because they're not going to end up looking like that. And then let's add some other grass, different colors, get some darker ones and some lighter ones. We're going to lose a lot of this. That's why I'm not being very careful. I'm really mainly just getting color down. I want lots of different colors. I kind of want it taller on this side. And we'll come back and we'll redefine a lot of this. But right now, I want to just take this smaller bottle and get things to blend out. I'm going to spritz the top as well. See, lots of water. And in the top, I am going to add Payne's Gray. I really want a dramatic background. So there's always an ugly stage. For me anyway, there's always an ugly stage. And you may think, oh my goodness, what have I done? This is so ugly. But if you can just hang with that ugly stage a little while, it gets better. There have been many times where I have come so close to just throwing something away because I thought for sure I had ruined it. But then I would just push on anyway. We'll just see it through. It may end up in the trash, but we'll just see it through. And then I've been so happy that I didn't throw it away because it worked out much better than I thought it would. And I really want some drama in here. So I am going to add some really deep Payne's Gray. Just taking clean water now and dabbing back over that to encourage it to move around. And it will look strange if it just stops at that stem there, so we need to extend it over into here. And then it can start getting lighter. Need some more water on that. And if you watched last week's video, we talked all about controlling the water, pooling, blooms. So we are going to have a lot of that in this one. And that's okay, that's what I want. I want pooling, I want blooms. So now we can start making that. And we don't really have to cover the whole thing. So we can have white space in here, that's just fine. Although I am losing quite a bit of my white space, so I'm going to dab up a little bit. That might have been too much. Because now it looks like, oops. There we go. I want it to gradually move out, and that's starting to look a little strange, so let's smooth that. promise this is going to look so much better when we add the ink. And I want, now that the centers are dry, I want to add a little bit of shadowing in there. And this is not all I'm going to do. I'll come back with another layer that's even darker. But I just want to get that started. And I may even get some yellow pale and put that on top to try and lighten those up a little bit. They need to be a little brighter. That's lovely, lovely, lovely. And if we want to add some texture in down here, we can take our paper towel and get more texture down there. Soak a little bit of that up. Just a little. Now, that's better. Okay, love this. And we need a little green under here. So we kind of lost that stem and we've got a lot of space in there. And that's not going to stand out so much. Once we get the ink in there, it will take up some space. So that won't look so odd. I don't like that patch right there. That's better. Just really want it to run off the page. So we got some hard lines down here. I want that blurriness off the page. I don't mind the blooms, just I want it to have a nice white border there. And we can go in and add back a little bit of this information. Okay, I think I'm going to finish all that up with the pen. I'll soften that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to dry this and then we'll come back and do our ink details. I started drying this and this white spot really popped out at me. So let's add back some of this Payne's gray. Let's just add it below the leaf here. That would really make more sense. So we can easily do that. We can just add a little in and then we're just going to blend it out. I don't know why I didn't see that before, but you know, sometimes it just helps to look away and then come back and look again and you'll see things. And that big white spot just really did not make sense there. So we'll add this Payne's gray in, and that will fix our problem. And then we've really lost some of our stems here. So now's a perfect time just to add that back in because we really want that part to stand out. You know, we want the flowers to pop out from the page. And that's just not going to work if we can't see these stems. They kind of look like they're floating in air. So now, that's better. Okay, it's all dry now, and the paper has buckled a little bit, of course, because we use so much water. So I just thought I would mention that an easy fix for buckling is just press it between two heavy books. I always put like a parchment paper or something over the top and then leave it there for a couple of days. That works great for me, but you have to make sure it's completely dry before you do that. Or you can actually iron the back of it. That works really well too. You just need to be careful not to use very hot iron. I am going to use brown microns. I have the 1 and a 0.5 here. So I could do this with sepia, but it's just faster and it basically looks the same to do it with this little micron. So I am going to add some dark stippling here for a little shadow and definition to those centers. And it really helps that we have a lighter brown down here that gives it some depth. So I'm just doing little dots and some little scribbles. And this is a very thick micron, so I'm not going to do a lot of details with it on the petals, but I am going to do just right here around the center because I want those to be a deep color. I have to be careful in this little baby because it's so small. In fact, I am going to switch over to the 0.5 to finish up the little baby. Okay, now to do the sketches, I like to hold my pen like this, and I hope you're going to be able to see this. Hope my hand won't be in the way. So I don't want to draw around the petal matching perfectly with the paint. I want to go over the paint, I want to go outside of the paint, I want plenty of white space, and I want little short sketchy lines. Nothing perfect, just some real sketchiness. Just going to pick certain spots. You want some of them to be dark and some of them to be lighter. By holding my pen this way, it prevents me from drawing too precisely. And I'm not going to draw this side of this one because I want it to get lost into the background there. To me, the more sketchy lines you add, the better. It just adds so much. Now this one, because it's a larger one, I am going to go around it and to help define it from this one on this flower. And it's because of that dark background, I need to go very dark around here so that you can see it. fact, I may even come back to the one just in spots, just to help that pop out. And don't forget the leaves. And we don't have to do every one. You can pick and choose and do some of them. You can even add in some that are not really there. And don't forget the stems. And these stems are fairly dark. So the micron may not show up a whole lot, but that's okay. Let me go back. Yeah, that helps. And I think it helps when you don't have just one line around it, but if you have, just in spots, multiple lines that don't really match up well, I just think that adds a lot of character. And it also adds a sense of movement. I'm going to fill in a little bit of that white space. If you don't really like the way something was happening, like I didn't like how square that one was, it just didn't look right there. So just go back over it, change it. Okay, let's take the tape off. And I could draw in some of the grass again, but I don't really want to do that because I want the focal point to be the flowers, not anything down here, and I think that would take away. So when you peel your tape off, if you don't know this, if you pull it at a 45-degree angle and go very slowly and keep the tape flat, then you are less likely to tear your paper. I mean, this is low-tack tape, but especially when it gets wet, it still has a tendency to tear. So just go slowly and keep it at that angle. You'll do much better. You know, I used to pull it straight up like that, and that always would tear. I started a new hashtag on Instagram, Painting with Bila. So anything that you paint from any of my classes, if you use that hashtag, I'll be able to see it and I can comment on it. So I thought that would be a fun thing for us to do. So please use that hashtag if you post anything or if you want me to see something. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and please give me a thumbs up if you like this one, because that lets me know. And also by doing those things, you really help the algorithm know that you enjoyed my content. And so other people can easily find me, and it helps my channel grow, which is just going to help me be able to provide more and more videos. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to see what you create. Hope to see you next week. Thanks.